You watch these hearings and your jaw hits the floor. You listen to these Democrats and you can't believe what you're hearing. What you're seeing is a revolution. What you're hearing are Marxists. The Department of Justice, the FBI, this phony special counsel Jack Smith believe in a two-tier justice system. With Donald Trump as the main focus right now, with unprecedented investigations and charges by Democrat prosecutors all over the country. Unloading indictments left and right, charges left and right, all timed and intended to interfere with the 2024 election and cripple GOP candidates up and down the chain. Now, this is going to make it very difficult for Republicans to accept a Democrat victory in 2024 should it occur. Let me repeat that. This massive Democrat party-wide use of the criminal justice system, use of censorship and attacking the First Amendment is going to make it very difficult for Republicans to accept a Democrat victory in 2024. I'm not encouraging this. I'm not wishing for it. I am observing what's taking place. The Biden administration, the Democrat Party, their surrogates, as well as the McConnell wing of the Republican Party, you've heard nothing from them. They sit quietly as all this is unfolding. They do not understand, excuse me, they do not understand what they're doing to this country. Or maybe they do, but they don't care. Meanwhile, the widespread obstruction, cover-up, protection racket, etc., of the Biden crime family open to the public for everyone to see at this point. Most of it isn't even covered by the media. By the same DOJ, the same FBI, and the rest. And the constant Democrat Party racializing of everything, especially their opponents, Republicans, underscore the problem. The Democrats have already indicated they don't accept the results of the election should Donald Trump win. You've had Eric Holder, you've had Adam Schiff, you've had other prominent Democrats say that if Donald Trump is elected president, they should immediately impeach him. You've got scores of radical left-wing Marxist, Democrat-aligned phony groups backed by massive amounts of dark money from billionaires and millionaires who do not want to be known, trying to prevent Donald Trump from even going on the ballot under, they claim, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. And should he get elected, they're insisting that attorneys general in these states refuse to acknowledge his election. They seek a revolution. They seek a violent revolution. That's where they stand. In the meantime, this cover-up of the Biden crime family, starting with Merrick Garland and his refusal to appoint a special counsel outside of the Department of Justice, who will look into the enormous amount of information that's coming out now, which lays not just a predicate for a criminal investigation by a special counsel, but 1,000 predicates. And the media sit quiet. They do nothing. Because they know that Biden and the Democrats control the executive branch. And only the executive branch can be charged. I love to hear hosts who try to position themselves as tough guys and tough women telling Jim Jordan or James Comer, well, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? That's the problem. Congress can only do so much. Congress doesn't have the power to prosecute people. They simply don't. And the Democrats know this. Defund them, they say. I'm all for it. Where's McConnell? He's not going to support it, not one penny. He controls a third to a half of the Republican senators. And there he is, the Republican leader. These people are playing with fire. They don't care. They figured out in 2020 that their militia, BLM and Antifa, can get away with anything. That they can do anything. Firebombing the Portland courthouse day in and day out for over 2 months. Mostly peaceful, of course. Violently attacking the White House, where the president has to go to the nuclear bunker that they built under the White House. You don't hear about all of them being rounded up and justice being done and all the resources the Department of Justice is expending. You have Chuck Schumer urging the Democrat Party militia to go after the Supreme Court and the justices. He doesn't pay a price for any of that. None. He's celebrated. All the norms, all the traditions are under attack and they're being destroyed, including the next election. And certainly the FBI and the Department of Justice. And it's all one way. It's all one way. This is a dangerous game. It's a dangerous gambit, but we are in the middle of a revolution. Not ours, not mine, theirs. They're telling you what language you can use. Don't use two-tier justice. From now on, I will use it incessantly. I had criticized its use because I don't think it was very descriptive. But now I do. When they tell me I can't say something, I'll say it. Not only do they tell you what you can't say, they tell you what you must say. The words you must repeat and regurgitate. Even if they don't make sense. Even if they're nonsensical. Even if the science tells you a man is a man, is a woman, and is a man. No. You do what you're told. And then the censorship. Brilliant federal judge, a hero, gives chapter and verse of what the Biden administration, the federal government, did to you and does to us in violation of the First Amendment, the most important free speech. And he is slammed by the media, slammed by the legal profession. And then the Biden Justice Department, which is responsible for the censorship, files an appeal with the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals and a 3-judge panel, including at least one Trump appointee, says of the lower court's decision, Matt, stay your temporary injunction. The government is free to continue censoring until we hear the whole case. What? That's what they said. So many words. It's incredible, isn't it? This prosecutor, Jack Smith, has a long history of violating every ethical norm and ethical practice of a prosecutor, because he's not a prosecutor any more than Beria under Stalin was a prosecutor. Not a prosecutor. He's a hitman. He's a hitman. Point him in a direction, and he'll go after you, try and assassinate your character, try and destroy you through the process. That's why Garland and his team of Marxist thugs chose him. to be the special counsel. Could have chosen anybody else. Chose him. He has a record of abusing the system. He has a record of being reversed by courts and trial juries. He has a record of violating attorney-client privilege. He has a record of leaking to the media. He has a record of threatening witnesses, of turning family members against each other. That's the man they pick. A hitman, an assassin. And you can see his dirty work all over the place. And I'll prove it to you. He goes into court. When Trump's lawyers say, look, we're filing a motion, this case shouldn't be heard until after the election. He says, no, it ought to be heard by December. Why? What's the imperative? What's the imperative to have a full-scale trial in December against a former president who is running for re-election? What is the imperative? There's no statute of limitation issue. They have all the documents. There is no imperative unless you want to interfere with the election, which is exactly what he's doing. Don't worry, I'll get to what took place today and more. Well, let me just give you a little taste of this. You see what they did to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. today? The Democrats. His name is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. His father was Robert F. Kennedy, who was assassinated. An iconic figure, especially in the Democrat Party. This is his son, who's named after him. It just shows you what's happened to the Democrat Party. These Marxist, vile, racist, anti-Semite, American, Constitution, capitalism-hating miscreants and malcontents. They don't care. That was so long ago. No. This is today. And they will do anything to protect Biden. They know. They know he's on stage 5 of dementia. They know it. They know all this. But they also know that their agenda is being implemented by the people around him. They know that too. And they are thrilled with the destruction of this country. They're thrilled with the unraveling of our system. They're thrilled with empowering themselves, monopolizing politics. They're thrilled with their media friends who give them cover, like Pravda did, the old Soviet Union. It's all good by them. And they don't give a damn whether you accept the next election or not. Because elections to them, unless they win them, are quaint, kind of get in the way of things. They have a permanent bureaucracy that belongs to them, permanent courts that belong to them. This election thing is motions they go through. They want to completely control it so they control their outcome. Don't get me wrong. But they don't give a damn whether you like it or not. You will heal. All you insurrectionists out there, even those of you who weren't even in Washington that day, you're all insurrectionists. You're all white supremacists, even if you're not all white. You're all racists, which of course you aren't. Doesn't matter.